Is there any similarities between the ancient alien gods, the Anunnaki, and our elites? Well, first of all, they're both in charge of us, unfortunately. Now, here in the oldest known texts, Enlil, who was a god, you can see there, Enlil, so forget the almighty being, we're talking about the Anunnaki here, because that's what the Bible talks about. And in fact, this particular passage I'm about to read out is in the Bible, but you'll know it slightly differently because of the translation errors that they had back then through 3 different languages. So you got Sumerian, Aramaic, Babylonian, and then Hebrew, and then English. So you'll know this bit when you see it about genocide. Anyway, so Enlil wanted to wipe out people. Give the order that the Surapa disease shall break out. Now, first of all, if it was an almighty being, he wouldn't need a disease to wipe out. So I'm just throwing out any similarities between our... Oh, you just have to watch to the end. This person here, you're going to have a laugh. So this person here is trying to debunk Zecharia Sitchin. And he's talking to someone else. And let's have a listen to what he says, and then we'll all have a huge giggle at this person's expense.
So I want to talk about a very famous and very popular author who dabbles in fringe and especially pseudoscience, and that is Zecharia Sitchin. And so my biggest question is, he's famous for all of these translations and theories and all of this other good stuff that I know really very little about. My question...
He knows very little about. Did you hear that? So this numpty here has just said pseudoscience and all the translations, etc. So in other words, Zecharia Sitchin's wrong, and yet this person knows very little about. In other words, how does he know that Zecharia Sitchin's wrong if you know very little about it? Numpty. Just put a new video on my Patreon page. There's already 75 on there. This one's called Debunking the Debunkers, where I go through a video that's on YouTube where they're trying to debunk Zecharia Sitchin, and hopefully you'll agree with me that I made them look silly. But there's also other videos on there. There's a Noah's Ark proof video. I'm just going through. So it's on patreon.com. Everything you need to know about spirits. 3-hour documentary that I made just for the Patreon people. And literally it does cover everything you need to know about spirits. There's also live chats and Christ knows how many more videos on here. So feel free to visit my Patreon site called Our True History on patreon.com. Thanks for watching. Oh God, here we go. I had someone on my post saying Lord God loves me. Let's take the rose-tinted glasses off everybody, including religious people, for whatever religion. So let's have a look now. We've got the Lord God. Now, funny enough, in ancient Greece, Lord was used. Now, I thought the Lord was never to take his name in vain, but lo and behold, gods in Greece also had them. And then you've got gods in Rome, also lords. And then you've got Lord Shiva in India. Then you've got lords in China, and so on. In other words, wherever the Anunnaki were. Now, the oldest known texts of any lords is Sumerian, which was the Anunnaki. So either I'm right and they're all one of the same race, Anunnaki, or everyone decided to use, even though they probably didn't even communicate with each other, the same word Lord. I've been sent this video a few times for people to ask me my opinion. I think the outside is possibly a facade for a movie set, and then the inside is a totally different location, totally different time. Someone stitched a few videos together to make people believe that it's all one of the same new secret building that's just been broken into. But of course, if you use a bit of common sense, you realise that there's already lights been put up inside there. There you go, see all the lights. So it's totally different time frame, etc. So if you scroll on, you'll find more things such as these skulls, which I believe now we're looking at a storeroom, not in the same place, nowhere near the same place, different videos, different edited together, a storeroom for people that sell these things. And then same goes for the alien that you'll see in a second here. This is just another fake thing that's been stitched to the same video to make you all believe. Exclusive about the royal crown and sceptre, here only on Our True History. So I think I've worked out what the actual sceptre is. Now, forget everything you've been told. This goes way back. In fact, so far back that the Anunnaki would give selective people the crown and sceptre to rule the land. But why is this just a symbolic gesture? No, because there's this particular item in India that was also given to leaders that actually had power that could fire lightning bolts from it. So in other words, it was some device. And when you actually look at this, yes, they look the same. Now, the Anunnaki would actually admit it used power. So here on A Gilgamesh Story, Enkidu, come now, you heroic bearer of a sceptre of wide-ranging power. So in other words, the Anunnaki gave the leaders weapons to make sure they stayed in charge. Thank you.